welcome to Marianne's Alaska Kitchen. This morning I'm going to be making perfect hash browns, which requires a specific technique. They're easy, but you really have to know the technique. Let's get cooking. So I'm going to start in my pan with some olive oil and some onions, and I'm going to get those going. I've bought dehydrated potatoes at Costco, but you can use, shredded ones, and then you have to soak them in water. These are so much easier, so I'm using them. And you just pop those into a bowl and add some water. You don't have to microwave them, but I just do this to get them basically cooked and then add them to my other ingredients. But you could also do this step in the pan with water if you don't want to microwave. Add enough water to fill up the bowl. Microwave for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to get cutting up my onions. So I'm just going to chop an onion into a pretty fine dice, and then we'll move on to the next step. So in goes my onions to the olive oil. As soon as those go in, I hit them with some salt. So I'm going to add a lot of potatoes. I'm going to add quite a bit of salt and pepper. I have these on high. I'm going to turn them down to medium and chop up my garlic. I'm just chopping up my pre-peeled garlic. And I'm only adding this right now because I'm going to be adding the water and potatoes back in. If you were using fresh potatoes, I would wait until right before you're ready to put your potatoes in. Give that about 30 seconds. And in the meantime, I'm going to add a tablespoon of dill. Dill and potatoes just make the best of friends. And if you watch some of my videos, I use a lot of dill. So I dumped, while my microwave was in the way, the potatoes into this garlicky, oniony, dilly base. And I'm going to make a little well in the middle, like so. And I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of butter in there. If you're wanting to skip the butter, that's fine. It just adds richness to the potatoes and makes them a little more flavorful, but you can totally skip the butter. And then I get this all really well mixed, and here comes the technique. Once this is all well mixed, and you've got your onions and garlic and dill super well combined, which these are now, I'm going to flatten this. So this is the technique most people don't know, and even with frozen hash browns, if you mess with them too much, you can make them gloppy and gooey and not very pleasant to eat. This is the trick. Flatten them down, and it works. You get them flattened, and you leave them alone on medium heat for a good probably 10 minutes on medium, maybe 8. And you can check on the doneness of the potatoes, but you can usually see a rim of brown around the outside when they're ready to flip. In the meantime, I'm going to get some bacon going and some eggs to go with it. So while those hash browns are getting nice and brown, I'm going to start my eggs. And I've already started my bacon. I'm going to put a little bit of butter into this seasoned stainless steel pan, and you just keep it seasoned by, when you wash it, only washing it out with a scrubber, not with soap. No soap at all ever touches this pan, and that way the eggs slip easily out of the pan. So that's trick number one. So now I'm going to show you how to make perfect, gorgeous, silky, sexy eggs. Yes, eggs can be sexy if they're made perfectly. So I'm just going to spread that butter around my seasoned pan, which just means that I don't use soap and water on, or I don't use soap on this. I just use water and a scrub to get them clean, and only eggs go in this pan. I don't cook anything else in this pan. So my husband showed me this tip for the eggs, and he is a big egg sandwich lover, so he knows what he's doing. Tap the top third of the egg. Take that top third off, being careful not to push the shell into the yolk, and leave it like a cup where the yolk sinks down to the bottom of the shell. Bring it close to the pan and just tip it in right into the pan, and you'll never have another broken yolk. And I think that's a magical thing. It's fantastic. So there they are, 2 perfect eggs with no broken yolk. In the meantime, I hope you can see the edges of this have started to show some brown. So I'm going to start grabbing and flipping. And there's that golden brown that you want to see. They'll all stay together because they have browned well. Crispy on the outside, and nice and tender and moist on the inside. Perfect. And then I'm going to let them go on the other side, and I'm going to cover them, flatten them again, just like you did on the first side. Get them pressed well into the pan like you're wanting to get a sear, because that's what you want. And I'm going to put the lid back on and let the other side crisp. Timing is important. So I've started my bacon right after I finished my potatoes, because the potatoes take the longest to cook, and then the bacon, and then of course the eggs. So my bacon is done. I'm going to pop that out. The potatoes are frying on the second side, so they're almost done. Putting those onto some paper towel to drain. And then right when your eggs get to about here, where you've got a lot of gooey, loose white, trick number 3. Numero 3. Take about a tablespoon of water and insert it and make a little slit in between your 2 eggs. Dump the water in, and you're going to steam your white cooked. So the white gets cooked and the yolk doesn't get overcooked. They're perfect, sexy eggs. So we'll be right back. Last piece of bacon done. And just that fast, we've gone with that steam to a little tiny bit of white around the yolk, and that is a perfect egg. The white is cooked, the yolk is runny, but not too runny, and because I've seasoned my pan, they just slide around in it. And they're gonna slide right off onto my husband's breakfast plate. And there we go. And the bacon's done. These hash browns are glorious. They're perfectly crisp. And the flavor is on point. It's got that dill, the onion, the garlic, and then some nice pieces of bacon. You love them the way you love them. Mm. How's that sexy egg? Mm-hmm. Perfectly cooked. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for visiting Mary Ann's Alaska Kitchen. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you like what you see. And leave me a comment. I'd love to chat back with you.